Presented by Fields Auto Group.
Bouncer to the second baseman. The flip for one. Barehand. And the Cubs take the lead. Ahmed tried to make a play that might not have been there. And the Cubs lead 2-1. Cubs win. 4-4 on the homestand. A win tomorrow would make it a winning stay.
Wild end to a great pitching duel between John Lester and Robbie Ray. Couple lefties tangled. Cubs now go for a series split with the Diamondbacks after dropping the first two at Wrigley. Hello and welcome to Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. He's David DeJesus. I'm David Kaplan. I know Ahmed, the shortstop for the Diamondbacks, was trying to make a play. You love the aggressiveness, but sometimes you got to go, not there, I'm going to eat it.
Yes, earlier in the game, he made that barehanded turn to double play, but in that situation, you just got to hold on to the ball. Don't promote that big inning that happened to the Cubs. They only needed one run right there, and the Cubs, it was the base running that got them that job. Ian Happ, Javi Baez, and Hayward running out of the box, respecting 90 feet. That's why they won the game.
There you go. It's almost time for you to get interactive with our show. Get your mobile, laptop, or tablet ready. Head to NBCSportsChicago.com/vote. Just a few minutes. We'll bring you our live fan vote. All right, some bad news for Cubs fans this morning. They wake up and their star, Kris Bryant, back on the 10-day DL with left shoulder inflammation, and I keep hearing that there's a significant amount of pain there. It's Bryant's second stint on the DL this season. Infielder David Bodie recalled again from AAA Iowa, and he starts at second base for the Cubs today. Ian Happ will be over at third. Bryant hitting .276 in 76 games, but batting just .250 since returning from his first trip to the DL. What does this mean for the Cubs now and into the future? Because you could say he's going to be out a long time or a while, as I keep hearing. But all I'm telling you is, man, it's August next week.
Yeah, it's coming up. The end of the season is near, so hopefully they can get a handle on what's going on with his shoulder. It could be rotator cuff, labrum, and those are serious stuff right there. So with Kris Bryant right now, you got to be cautious because it's a long-term look with Kris Bryant. But when David Bodie has come up, they're 8-3 when he starts, and they're 16-4 games that he's been in the game. So the Cubs have the ability to handle these little adversities, but the big piece of Rizzo, you want that guy for the postseason, so hopefully he can get back to the Cubs as soon as possible.
Yeah, and get this thing kind of cleaned up. All right, we go out to Wrigley Field. The third member of our team, as always, is the one and only Kelly Krull with our Miller Lite game report. Casey?
Well, Madden said just a few minutes ago, guys, that Bryant had done just about all he could to try and manage this pain, but the soreness was just not diminishing to 100%, and so he is going to have a second MRI done. I don't think this needs to be looked at as a concerning thing or a negative thing necessarily. It's protocol when the pain is still there. Madden saying he didn't expect for them to find anything more, but this is a guy in Bryant that has taken a lot of swings. He's always had that long follow through, and at this point the wear and tear could just be adding up, and that swing and the follow through was actually something he was even trying to tweak a little bit during this process.
He was attempting to control his finish differently. That's what he was doing. It wasn't, he may have been doing things subconsciously prior to us putting him on the DL, but then he intentionally tried to restructure it a bit after it became more noticeable to him. So moving forward, it's just if you know how he finishes so long with that one-arm finish, I think that was the concern, that there was some concern that was part of the issue.
So it'll be Ian Happ filling in at third with David Bodie, like Happ said, taking over at second. And Bodie has been, in even more ways now, so valuable to this Cubs roster, being able to plug him in at second or third. He's shown he can produce, he's got power, and the depth position-wise has always been a strength for this Cubs team, and the manager knows just how fortunate they are to be able to turn like a guy to Bodie in this moment.
He's very important to us right now, I agree. Listen, we liked him in spring training. I saw him briefly the last couple of years, maybe like in a game or two. He came on over. David Bodie, good guy. I'm hearing all this stuff, but then all of a sudden, hey, he starts putting balls in left center field gaps and over walls. And that home run hit here last time, the dead center, that was one of the hardest hit homers all year, I thought. But his defense at third, I mean, and his base running, those have really been attractive.
Well, and this is very intriguing now when you think about the trade deadline looming. What Theo and Jed have to offer as they look to pick up another arm, whether it be for the bullpen or a starter. Cap and David, you know that Bodie and Happ were both trade chips for them, and right now they need every bit of both of those guys on the field. So things are getting interesting. We could see more players when it comes to teams that are now becoming sellers instead of buyers. I look at the Nationals and putting Strasburg on the DL this afternoon. Maybe they become sellers, and now that's a big part of why Theo and Jed, I think, always wait until the end to sort of make their move with the trade deadline. And it should be interesting, but I'll tell you what, David Bodie and Ian Happ, very, very important to this team right now.
All right, Kel, thanks very much. We'll talk with you later and hear from you later throughout the ball game. Let's take a look at our injury report for the Cubs. All right, Kris Bryant back to the DL. Folks, no two ways about it. This is not a good thing. This could be a while. Right-handed pitcher Anthony Bass is dealing with a strain. Darvish, we know what's going on with him. Justin Hancock, right shoulder inflammation. Morrow, biceps inflammation. Smiley, as he works his way back from Tommy John. I guess, David, the two most encouraging things on that whole list are Darvish is going to do a second bullpen this weekend. Yeah. Then they're talking sim game. Then they're talking rehab assignment for one or two. And then he could be back, but at least it's progress. Yeah. And then Drew Smiley looks like he could be heading out on a rehab assignment. So of all of that, those are probably the two most encouraging.
Yes, that's it, because right now Smiley and Yu Darvish might be at the same time. So that might be good for Darvish to lean on a veteran like Drew Smiley that has gone through these problems. He can give him some advice on how to handle it, how to treat your arm, and understand from a different mindset. Maybe they can talk about things like that. But getting Yu Darvish back is huge, because then you just got another free agent. You know, you got a nice little addition there. So getting him back would be nice, but you can't count on anything right now, because he still has at least a month away from getting back on the mound.
You're not going to see it until late August at the earliest. Time for our Miller Lite Cubs fan poll the vote. Visit NBCSportsChicago.com/vote. No special app needed. Visit that website. Get interactive with David and with me. Today's question is, what Cubs injury is most impactful in the playoff race? Bryant, Darvish, or Morrow? Your thoughts, NBCSportsChicago.com/vote. For me, it's Kris Bryant. He's the MVP.
Really? Kris Bryant? I mean, what about in the playoffs? All right, every game is close. Who do you want on the mound to put away teams? Do you want Strop out there? Do you want Cishek to close games? Or do you want a guy that can throw 99 and has some success in the bullpen? I got to go with Morrow right now, just because Justin Wilson, is that another arm you want pitching the ninth? I think that's Jed and Theo need to go out there, get a closer, because Darvish, you can't expect anything from him right now. He hasn't pitched this year. Hopefully he comes back. And Bryant, there's had been guys that can come in and do the job. You can put Javi in different positions, and Bodie has been a good addition. So right now, closing games in the playoffs is what that injury is so impactful with Brandon Moore, because he hasn't thrown yet. He hasn't even picked up a ball yet. So the Cubs are at a point right now that they need the arms to get big outs in the playoffs.
Right. We'll see how that works out. Again, you can keep voting right there throughout the pregame show. NBCSportsChicago.com/vote. Time for our bona fide starting pitching matchup, brought to you by our friends at Bona Beef, the original Italian beef. That's just really good. Tyler Chatwood taking the bump against Arizona's Zack Godley, who came over to the Diamondbacks in the Miguel Montero trade with the Cubs. Wow, how about that one? Drop some knowledge on you. 11-6 with a 465, 110 in the third innings. 113 hits, not the greatest ratio. Walk to strikeout, 114.57. For Chatwood, 4-5 with a 484. Innings, 89 and a third, but only 77 hits. That's a really good ratio till you get to strikeout to walk. 78 strikeouts to 79 walks.
It's pretty unbelievable. A cool stat that I saw was right-handers are hitting 148 off him. That's the lowest in the MLB. But he's walked at least 5+ batters in his 10 starts, and that's the most in the MLB. So which Chatwood is going to be pitching today? You don't know. He hasn't been consistent at all. So the Cubs for the Cubs, the bullpen guys have to be ready early in the game today.
Yeah, you never know which guy you're going to get.
Because his fastball is electric. Last start, 1 hit against the Cardinals, a good hitting team. But there's still, 7 walks, and he's letting guys get on base, the freeway, and that's when big innings happens. To a veteran lineup like this, you can't put guys on base against the Diamondbacks.
Correct. It just continues to let them do damage.
Yeah.
Cubs will do battle with Zack Godley. Again, 11-6 with a 465. Shut out the Cubs last August in 6 innings of work with only 3 hits allowed and 5 strikeouts. What do you expect to see from Godley? Because he does have good stuff.
He's a guy that loves his curveball. He's a curveball, sinker, cutter guy. Most of the damage often is off of the cutter and sinker because it doesn't have good movement. His pitch that he loves to go to in any count is that curveball. Sometimes it's deeper, sometimes it's shorter spin, but he's a guy that wants to attack, and the Cubs hitter have to get ahead in the count where he has to force him to throw that fastball.
Yeah, you see this breaking stuff right there, and then he runs that.
He'll run the two-seamer.
The two-seamer that ran back in. It makes it really tough. There's another one that just
Schwarber
runs in, and Schwarber's like,
come
really?
on, kid. Today you got to get on that, kid. You got to foul that off.
Got to at least get a piece of it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see how it goes. Congratulations are in order for our guy, Anthony Rizzo, playing in his 1,000th career game this afternoon. 28-year-old first baseman, 18 hits away from 1,000, 1 RBI from reaching 600. His 177 home runs, 13th most in the history of the franchise. Numbers aside, how big is his presence in the Cubs clubhouse?
He's just a leader. That's what it comes down to. I remember in 2013, he was getting that deal, talking about his deal, and he was just stressed out. We were talking in the bathroom. Hey, man, I gave him my advice. I'm like, take the money right now, and in 5 or 6 years, you're going to be young enough to get your second big contract. That's when you make your money, on your second contract. But he's proven himself to be the leader of the team, the face of the franchise, and every year he's getting better. So that's the thing with Anthony Rizzo. There's not one facet of the games that he just relaxes and knows it's going to happen. He works hard to be a better player on and off the field. And I think the off-the-field stuff is even more important, what he's doing for his charity. His charity is unbelievable, and he's just an amazing dude.
Yeah, he is an amazing, amazing dude. I think there are times that fans go, okay, is he that impactful in the clubhouse? Yeah, come in the clubhouse and you'll find out. He's the heart and soul of that team. Cubs Pregame Live presented by the Fields Auto Group. Coming up, we'll talk about the National League's leading hitter, Albert Almora. That's right, slashing leather and doing it at the plate as well. Plus a big trade just announced with a Windy City arm affecting the NL Central. And it's 36 minutes since the start of the game. Still time to give Felco a call, 866-4FEL-DC. I'll be right back.
Cubs Pregame Live is presented by Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter. See Fields first. FieldsAuto.com.
Auto dealers tend to use the same phrases and sales event names. Maybe they don't have a lot to talk about, but we do. We've never followed the crowd. We've always done what is best for our customers. That includes the Real Deal sales event.
Lease a new 2018 Land Rover Discovery for only $599 per month for 36 months at Land Rover Northfield.
Car washes, a robust loaner fleet, cafes like this one, world-class service, and the best buying experience. All at no extra charge. What do you think of all of this?
I love it.
Here's how Old Dominion puts together a winning performance. It takes precision, like how we're #1 in claims prevention. It takes hustle, like our over 99% on-time rate. And it takes consistently going the distance to earn our fans' loyalty. That's why we're #1 in customer satisfaction. Old Dominion, official freight carrier of Major League Baseball.
It's not just a coaster, you know. It's an invitation.
Jim Beam on the rocks.
bourbon that's been making history since 1795 invites you to make some of your own.
Free installation?
That's right, free installation on all windows, siding, and doors.
Now that's hot.
It's Feldco's hottest sale of the year. Free installation.
Free installation ends Sunday. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
I like it sweet.
I like it hot.
Red gravy.
Baptize it.
Make it cheesy.
Make it hurt.
North side.
South side.
There's one thing
both sides agree on.
Bona beef.
Bona, the original and most flavorful Italian beef.
We've all been there. Gridlock. But this is Nissan Rogue with Pro Pilot Assist. It can stop and start on its own.
Get 0% financing for 60 months on 13 models.
Our Miller Lite bar of the game is Murphy's Bleachers, 3655 North Sheffield. Such a great spot just outside the friendly confines. Go say hi to Beth Murphy. And if you're not in the ballpark, hang out at Murphy's Bleachers and enjoy some icy cold Miller Lite. Hey, on this day in 2005, Cubs legend Greg Maddux recorded his 3,000th strikeout. I was at that game. It was amazing. Maddux would get Omar Vizquel looking on the inside corner. He became just the 13th pitcher in Major League history at that date to join the 3,000 strikeout club. Just another chapter in his illustrious, amazing Hall of Fame career. And Cubs Pregame Live is presented by the Fields Auto Group. Welcome back. He's David DeJesus. I'm David Kaplan. Okay, Brewers have made a move. MLB.com's Mark Feinsand says Milwaukee is acquiring reliever Joakim Soria from the Chicago White Sox. No word on the package of prospects going back, but Soria leaving the Sox, heading to the Brewers. He's your teammate in Kansas City.
Good pro. He's going to attack the zone, and it's not a wow piece, but it's a nice piece. He's a guy that can eat up an inning, and if they need to put a starter, take one of those guys out of the bullpen and put him in the starting rotation, he's a good piece to have.
All right, there you go. Let's take a look at the Cubs lineup. Joe Madden has trotted out with the lineup card and says this. Anthony Rizzo leads off at first. Albert Almora Jr. is at 320, and he's in center and second. Hayward third, Contreras fourth, Schwarber is fifth, Addison Russell is sixth, Tyler Chatwood, David Bodie. We're missing a name in there, but Ian Happ will be at third base today. Schwarber obviously is in the left. Yeah. And Almora is quite quietly leading the NL in hitting with a 320 average. What have you seen from Almora that you like?
I love the way he's going the other way. He's aggressive on the base pass, sometimes a little too aggressive, but he's a guy that's going to play the game the right way. Defensively, you know he's giving you an all-star glove out there in center field like this play yesterday.
How tough is that play?
I mean, that's just that's reaction right away because that ball's scalded, and that's the first step quickness that he has. I remember that in 2013 in spring training. We were just shagging balls, and I saw him. His first step was like 3 steps before mine. I was like, wow, I think I'm going to be out of this game soon when I saw him play. But this guy, and he's driving the baseball, he's using the whole field, and that's when Albert's at his best, is when he's using the whole field.
Yep, I like that a lot. See how hard he plays. Yes. Got a solid arm. Yeah, really, really good. 24 years old. First Cubs center fielder under the age of 25. He had 20 doubles in a season. It's Corey Patterson turned the trick. He had 33 in 2004 at the age of 24. So really, really good to see. Let's go back to yesterday. Javi Baez comes on as a pinch hitter in the 8th in a tie ball game. Hits a little tapper in front of the mound, and he does not look 100% running. Fortunately, the throw wild. Baez ends up on second. You can tell he's still sore.
Yeah, definitely. That's the way he was running right here. And he hobbled. Thankfully, the throw was terrible. That was like a Matt Garza throw right there into the stands, nowhere close. But, then you had to get him out the game because you just don't want to hurt him in the long term. I know it's a muscle injury right now, but you don't want those muscle injuries to keep turning into something else.
Correct. Got to fix that.
Exactly.
Here's Baez after the game about his at-bat in the 8th.
I try to get out of the box fast, and I felt 2 pinches actually during my running. One getting out and one when I was getting to first. And obviously didn't want to swing and bunt, but it happens, and that was a winning run right there, so it was huge.
Seeing how Baez was running, did you see any risk in using him, or since it's a bruise and not like a pull, it is what it is?
It's a bruise. It's a deep bruise. Those things hurt, and they hang around for a while. It's about managing the pain. And in my opinion, I had no problem with him in the lineup because that bat is an impact bat.
Chicago cryo spot, kid. Get in the cryo tank. I'm just telling you. The Cubs actually
I think they have one, right?
In the locker room. Get in the cryo tank. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Here's the Arizona Diamondbacks lineup today. David Peralta will lead off. Paul Goldschmidt is batting second today. He was third yesterday. A.J. Pollock, Steven Souza Jr., your guy. Jake Lamb, Daniel Descalso, Nick Ahmed at short. Alex Avila catches. Zack Godley pitches. All right, we are taking a quick timeout. We'll come back. We've got a little bit more to do before we get you off to Len and JD. Cubs and D-backs coming up.
Does your business internet provider promise a lot? Let's see who delivers more. Comcast Business gives you gig speed in more places. The others don't. We offer up to 6 hours of 4G wireless network backup. Everyone else? No way. We let calls from any of your devices come from your business number. Them, not so much. We let you keep an eye on your business from anywhere. The others? Nope. Get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month when you get 2 voice mobility lines. Call or go online today.
Hello. Not all souvenirs are handy, but the BMO Harris Blackhawks Debit MasterCard is. When a bank puts the team in your hands, that's the BMO effect.
What's the ball? You want the ball? Get the ball.
Not all souvenirs are handy, but the BMO Harris Bulls Debit MasterCard is. When a bank puts the team in your hands, that's the BMO effect.
The Second City knows great teams. Brant Miller and Andy Avalos, a weather team that's second to none. Experienced watching Chicago skies together for more than 40 years. Tracking blizzards, tornadoes, and everything in between with the accuracy of 2 radars, Live Doppler 5 and Storm Ranger 5. Cutting through storms and getting ahead of severe weather to keep you safe. Chicago's most experienced team and Chicago's most accurate weather. Only from the NBC 5 Storm Team.
I like it sweet.
I like it hot.
Red gravy.
Baptize it.
Make it cheesy.
Make it hurt.
North side.
South side.
There's one thing
both sides agree on.
Bona beef.
Bona, the original and most flavorful Italian beef.
There's a lot of Volkswagen in every Volkswagen. During Volkswagen Smile and Drive Days, you can lease a value-packed 2018 Tiguan S for just $189 a month or get a $1,000 bonus.
Few others on Earth can rival the strength of an ant relative to its size. Until now. The new 2018 GMC Terrain has arrived. Terrain, the powerful compact SUV from GMC.
Get this low-mileage lease on this 2018 Terrain SLE for around $199 per month, or get 0% financing on most Terrain models.
Comcast Xfinity is now the official entertainment and Wi-Fi partner of Wrigley Field and Gallagher Way, so fans here can now access the free Cubs Wi-Fi in and around Wrigley Field.
And welcome back to Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. It's time for our Fields Auto Group keys to today's ball game. David DeJesus, let's talk about key number 1, because Cubs want to try and split this series.
So stay ahead of the curve. Godley loves that curveball, so if the Cubs hitters can work counts, get the counts in favor where he has to throw that fastball, that's the damage pitch that hitters have looked for against Godley, and they've put that ball out of the park. So today it's either sitting on the curveball or getting to hitters' counts is going to be huge for the Cubs.
All right, when you see that curveball, which breaks big time.
Yeah.
Do you move way up in the box on that?
I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna hit with 2 strikes. I'm gonna see if he can get that early. I'll give him those pitches, but can he throw it with 2 strikes is going to be important. That's a leadoff hitter, Anthony Rizzo, Almora, up at top. See if the command that he has for that curveball.
Or if he can hang one.
Exactly, let it hit it out.
You hang it, and we bang it. And beware of the walk.
With Chatwood today, we would love to see 7 innings pitched, a couple walks, just dominating performance from him. But it hasn't been likely at all this season. He's been up and down. So Butler and Chavez need to be ready from this first inning, be able to eat up some innings and keep the Cubs in the ball game if he gets wild and erratic.
All right, I will tell you this. The home plate umpire today had Chatwood earlier in the season, only 2 walks.
Ooh.
So maybe he's comfortable with this guy in his strike zone. We will find
You're an analytics guy now. I like
There you go,
style.
kid. There you go.
I like it.
Our key performers, you're up 2 on me for the season.
Yes, I'm going to go Addie Russell. He is 3 for 4 with 2 homers and 3 ribbies versus Godley. He's going to have a big day today.
I'm going to go Frank Rizzo. R-I-Z-Z-O.
Okay.
Anthony Tony Rizzo. That's my pick. All right, again, if you just turned it on, Joakim Soria, the closer of the Chicago White Sox, has been traded to the Milwaukee Brewers for 2 minor league prospects. One was the Brewers' former #1 pick, who's now 22. They took him out of high school, I believe. And so it's like they've kind of given up on him.
They've let him go.
And another prospect. Where are you on that?
Those are 2 young guys. It's just an innings eater. Soria has a good track record of getting big league hitters out. So it's not a splashy move, but it's a move that gets the job done for them. They feel comfortable with that. They still need the middle of the infield help. They need run producers, and they need starters too, with a few of their guys going down. So
Yeah,
I don't think it's a
Suter
big
down.
deal.
Jimmy Nelson hasn't come back.
Davies
has been banged up. So they probably have a larger move coming, I would think.
You would have to think that.
You would think. They're only 2.5 games back, so we'll see. Again, we will be back with the post-game show after this one. Thank you for watching Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. For David, for our great crew, I'm David Kaplan. We will see you on the other side. Len and JD, they're coming up with Cubs baseball next on NBC Sports Chicago.
Auto dealers tend to use the same phrases in sales event names. Maybe they don't have a lot to talk about, but we do. We've never followed the crowd. We have always done what is best for our customers. That includes the Real Deal sales event.
Lease a new 2018 Volvo XC60 for only $498 per month for 36 months at Fields Volvo Northfield.
Car washes, a robust loaner fleet, cafes like this one, world-class service, and the best buying experience. All at no extra charge. What do you think of all of this?
I love it.
When my hair gets too long, I lose my edge. But when my cut's right, I'm right. I'm back to being me. My dimples activate. My cleft chin becomes cleftier. I get a twinkle on my tooth. And I speak fluent French. Garbage, chaise lounge, mayonnaise.
Au revoir. Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
And no one has ever seen or heard them, but I know they're out there.
What was that? I heard it too.
With our laser-measured floor liners, cargo liners, side window deflectors, bump step, and no-drill mud flaps, WeatherTech's got you covered this summer. Order at WeatherTech.com or visit our factory store in Bolingbrook. The ultimate protection for your vehicle.
Hello?
Ignite your passions. Discover. Embrace adventure. This summer, test drive a Mazda and chase the sun. Spread your wings. Mazda. Feel alive.
Now get $2,000 customer cash or 0% APR for 60 months on the 2018 Mazda 3 4-door.
Starting something new isn't easy.
I miss you. Do good in school. Love you.
But you got this with Total Wireless. Get the best phones on the nation's best 4G LTE network. It's $35 a month with 5 gigs of 4G LTE data. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a new line or bring your number, you'll get a month's worth of free data. That's 5 gigs of data that never expires for each new line. Starting something new isn't easy, but you don't have to do it alone. Total Wireless, total confidence.
Another great day weather-wise here at beautiful Wrigley Field, and we're set for Cubs baseball on NBC Sports. Chicago, the Cubs wrap up what has been now a 9-game, 8-day homestand, and they look to go 5-4 before they head off to St. Louis. Great to have you with us as always. Jim Deshaies and Len Casper with you. Yesterday the Cubs snapped just a 2-game losing streak, but it felt a little bigger than that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think there's any such thing as a must win at this stage of the season, but it was an important win. The Diamondback pitching has been really good in this series. Cubs stepped up yesterday in a big way. John Lester in particular, his efforts leading the way. All right, let's get to the highlights from a matinee on a Wednesday afternoon. Scoreless tie, Ben Zobrist with a base hit, and the Cubs grab a 1-0 lead. The Cubs have only scored, by the way, 4 runs in the first 3 games of this series, but they were able to win yesterday largely because of John Lester. Yeah, he took it into the 7th. He allowed a home run in the top half of the 7th to A.J. Pollock. Other than that, he was brilliant. He struck out 7, did not walk a man. It's the 10th time this year he's allowed 1 or no runs in an outing, and he's coming off his worst outing of the year, so nice to see the big fella jump back out there and really perform. And there's the home run I alluded to. That's the only run they got off Big John. So that was a game-tying shot in the 7th. The Cubs took advantage of 2 errors, however, in the 8th inning. P.J. McFarland with a bad throw, and a hobbled Javier Baez ends up at second, eventually lifted for a pinch runner, Tyler Chatwood, and he would score on the overthrow by Nick Ahmed. Yeah, Diamondbacks one of the better defensive teams in baseball. I guess haste makes waste. McFarland hurried his throw. Ahmed hurried his play, and it led to the winning run. A little drama, though, in the 9th. Paul Goldschmidt lofts that high fly ball out to right field. Jason loses it in the sun, so the D-backs had a chance, but Strop able to slam the door. He gets Steven Souza Jr. to end the ball game. Cubs win 2-1 the final. Milwaukee lost at home to Washington. The Pirates had their 11-game winning streak snapped in Cleveland. The Cardinals dropped a series in Cincinnati, so the Cubs gaining a game on all 3 of those teams. The bad news is Kris Bryant goes back to the disabled list for the 2nd time due to the left shoulder injury. Javier Baez day-to-day possibly could see him off the bench today. The closer and one of your top starters still out as well. Yeah, nice to have a guy like David Bodie, who we've seen a number of times already here this year, be able to come up and fill in. He'll get to start at second base today. And I was talking with Joe briefly earlier today about Bryant. He just doesn't know, so they're going to try to calm that thing down, and makes sense for him to shut it down for a while. And we'll break down Bryant's swing in our second segment. Let's talk today's starting pitchers. Pretty intriguing matchup. Couple of guys who have great stuff, haven't thrown enough strikes this year. Zack Godley looking for his 12th win, and the Cubs have a better than 500 record when Tyler Chatwood pitches. Yeah, and ironically enough, his numbers, his ERA anyway, a lot better when he walks a bunch of people. Saturday against the Cardinals, that was the case. He issued 6 walks, but only allowed 1 earned run in 5 1/3. Godley's got one of the best curveballs in the game. That's going to be the challenge for the Cub hitters today to deal with that good hook. So Godley for the Diamondbacks, Chatwood for the Cubs, as we continue to preview the Cubs hosting Arizona coming up on NBC Sports Chicago.
You've got the ring, the trophy, the awards. That's great. But now it's a new season. And every guy on every team wants what you've got. And they're coming to get it. With blazing fastballs, filthy curves, and wicked line drives. It's a new season. How do you get back to the promised land? By getting back to 100%. 5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%. Official partner of the MLB All-Star Game.
How do you show up? Do you just bring it? Or do you bring it all?
Lucas, we gotta go.
Third row, like a pro. Get this low-mileage lease on this 2018 GMC Acadia SLE1 for around $269 per month for 36 months. Plus, current lessees can get $1,500 additional lease cash. We are professional grade. GMC.
Who is the little pilot?
That boy flew to this island to find his dog.
Spotter?
Does anybody know him?
No.
Not one master has made any effort to do that.
I am not your pet. I don't care about you. Don't ask me to fetch that stick.
Fetch it? Will you help the little pilot?
Why should I?
Because he's a 12-year-old boy. Dogs love those.
Buy or rent today and watch anytime, anywhere on your favorite screens with DirecTV Cinema. Movies start at channel 125.
30 seconds of awesome.
Presented by Thomas Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
Awesome. Awesome. Totally awesome.
And for a totally awesome car and truck buying experience, head to Thomas Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Highland.
Enjoy upfront pricing, a 3-day exchange policy, and a lifetime loyalty program.
Awesome. Plus, Thomas Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram has commission-free salespeople and a no-pressure environment.
Find your perfect vehicle at Thomas Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Highland and online at thomascdj.com.
Awesome.
Cubs baseball on NBC Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Cubs trying to earn a 2-2 split as they host Arizona once again today. Great to have Doug Glanville with us down near the Cubs dugout again this afternoon. And Doug, Kris Bryant going to the DL for the second time due to the left shoulder injury, and that is a key part of a hitter's swing and some compensation maybe over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Len, when you mention the word second time, when you put those together, you recognize adjustments have to be made, and you're going to look under every stone possible. With Kris Bryant, you look to that follow-through, the signature follow-through, and you notice he's always had a swing where he's kind of cut his swing off. This follow-through is sort of detracted and shortened, and that's part of his power game, but you can see the stress in that, right? He finishes, and he kind of has that wraparound, almost like a tennis player, right, on the backhand side if you had a one-handed backhand. So he's looking into things and adjustments he's making to really make a change in that follow-through to see if there's something he could do to sort of alleviate it if it's part of the cause, but certainly is part of the effect now. So changes are a part of a Major League Baseball player's career, and this is happening a little bit earlier due to injury for Kris Bryant.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that when we chat with you in game, but I wanted to talk some versatility. This roster has always had a lot of it under Joe Maddon, and they need it now with the injuries they're sustaining.
Well, absolutely, and as you mentioned with Kris Bryant, now it looks like there's going to be players that are going to get more opportunity to rotate in at third base, and this has been the signature of the Chicago Cubs through Joe Maddon's era. A lot of guys learning different positions, hitting in different parts of the lineup. I believe this in some ways plays to the team's strength, which is the silver lining of losing a player of the caliber of Kris Bryant. So a lot of guys have done the part. We're going to see a little bit of mixing and matching, but now that guys have been able to play earlier in the season, that's the advantage of mixing and matching early in the season to get guys now exposure.
We often hear about position players, right-handed throwers especially. A lot of guys are drafted and signed as shortstops. A lot of them don't ever want to move off that position, but in many cases, if you do that, it gets you to the big leagues a lot faster, doesn't it?
Yeah, and especially in the culture here with Chicago Cubs, the versatility has really been shining as an example of strength. It's a way that guys can contribute different ways. I mean, we're seeing position players pitch. I know that. So there's a lot of unorthodox things. But, you know, Kris Bryant won the MVP, one of only 2 players to play 3 positions more than 10 games. Versatility is a strength of this team, and now it's a chance to shine right now.
Yeah, it's ironic. A couple of years ago, Kris Bryant in some circles was criticized in terms of his MVP candidacy for playing multiple positions. But I think you and I would agree that that actually helped his candidacy because of that versatility. More with Doug in game. Always good stuff. Let's send it down to the field now for today's national anthem.
Remain standing and join the Melodiers chorus as they honor America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by
broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The second city knows great teams. Brand Miller and Andy Avalos, a weather team that's second to none. Experienced watching Chicago skies together for more than 40 years. Tracking blizzards, tornadoes, and everything in between with the accuracy of 2 radars, Live Doppler 5 and Storm Ranger 5. Cutting through storms and getting ahead of severe weather to keep you safe. Chicago's most experienced team and Chicago's most accurate weather. Only from the NBC 5 Storm Team.
We've come so far, I guess I'm proud. And I ain't worried about the wrinkles around my smile. I got some scars, I've been around. I felt some pain, I've seen some things, but I'm here now. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would have told me, babe, someday these will be the good old days.
Sometimes a day at the ballpark is more than just a day at the ballpark.
All military members stand and be recognized.
Sometimes fans cheer for those who wear a different uniform. No matter where or when you served, T-Mobile stands ready to serve you. That's why we're providing half-off family lines to all military.
A full house is on hand. Bright sunshine, it's warm. Right now, it's a perfect day to play.
Here comes the 3-2. Exactly what you ordered.
It's a high fly ball deep right center field. That ball is off the wall. Cubs are on the board. Drill toward left center. Almora makes a leaping grab.
Deep left center. Game over. Cubs win.
Summer is the time to get out and go. But before you do, get in to the Hyundai Epic Summer Sales Event. With next year's models on their way, it's your chance to get an amazing deal on a 2018 Hyundai and the peace of mind of America's best warranty. But hurry, because just like summer, the Hyundai Epic Summer Sales Event will soon be gone. Get up to $2,500 in total savings on the Elantra or up to $3,500 in total savings on the Sonata. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field with this Miller Lite game report. The finale between the Cubs and Diamondbacks coming your way. Before the game, the Cubs announced they indeed have placed Kris Bryant on the 10-day DL, the second time this season, and it is that soreness in the left shoulder that continues to linger. Bryant had tried to take some swings, and with that extended follow-through, he continued to feel pain, and Joe Maddon talking about it before the game and how they came up with this decision.
You know, we went through the first process. He felt a little bit better, but, you know, not 100% better. He was trying to manage it like we had talked about. Wasn't seeing the improvement to the point where it was totally going away. Felt it the other day in that game on the swing on the play to right field, ball at the right field. So we just thought, let's retest it. He's going to get another MRI, just go back through that process, make sure that we were right the first time, and then work from there. I think once he goes through this next test, I think that's going to help a lot, you know, to find out if there's anything we missed the first time, and hopefully not. And then I think that the docs will derive a game plan from there. But I've not done any kind of specific it's going to take this long, whatever. I've not heard that at all.
So the return timetable for Bryant still up in the air. It'll be Ian Happ at third, and David Bodie, recalled from AAA Iowa, will take over at second. And that guy right there who scored the game-winning run, Tyler Chatwood, on the bump momentarily.
DirecTV gives you more for your thing. If you've been waiting for a sign to quit cable, then here's some signs.
It came from the toaster.
Quit cable. Look at that. Now you can quit cable.
Switch to DirecTV and now get a $100 reward card. More for your quitting cable thing. That's our thing. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor. Available at Advance Auto, Walgreens, Ace, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
Ah, Sam Adams Summer Ale. The official beer of summer.
Wonder if they have donuts.
Pairs well with this. And that.
We will be there in no time.
Not so much this. And it tastes pretty great with that. Because it's summer. And nothing goes better with that than this. Sam Adams Summer Ale. Fill your glass.
What are you doing? Just warming up. I got called up to the show. You know, the showroom. Don't want to pull anything.
Good luck. Get 0.9% APR for 60 months on the new 2018 Highlander. Or get $1,000 customer cash on Highlander. Toyota, let's go places.
Can't complain about the weather. Man, for this series in particular, it has been just about perfect. Some wispy clouds above, but some blue skies and warm temperatures. Some great giveaways, too. For Javier Baez bobblehead, the throwback Pinstripe Road replicas. Let's get today's umpiring crew. It's Mike Estabrook. He'll work home plate. With his back to us, Mark Carlson, the crew chief, at first base. Bruce Streckman is at second, and Chad Fairchild over at third. 4-game series, so all 4 umpires will now have worked all 4 positions. And I would say for the most part, it has been drama-free.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't recall having any real issues with the strike zone. I thought Chad Fairchild was a good pitcher's umpire in the ball game yesterday.
Well, it's in his last name.
Yeah,
fair. So let's get the Diamondbacks Southwest starting lineup that will face Tyler Chatwood, and as a former Rocky, he has faced them a fair amount. Peralta, Goldschmidt, and Pollock. Goldschmidt always good against the Cubs. Steven Souza playing right, batting cleanup. Jake Lamb is at third. Daniel Descalzo batting 6th and playing second base. Ahmed, the shortstop, hits 7th. Former Cub Alex Avila will catch and hit 8th ahead of Zack Godley, the pitcher, former Cub farmhand.
Well, let's see who's where for the Cubs on this fine afternoon. Kyle Schwarber will play left today. Albert Almora Jr. made a spectacular play in the ball game yesterday. Also had a couple of doubles. Jason Hayward is in right. Ian Happ gets to start at third today. We welcome back David Bodie. He's joined in the middle of the diamond with Addison Russell. Big Riz is over there at first. Wilson Contreras behind the plate, and the Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher is Mr. Tyler Chatwood. He's making his 19th start. He's won 4, lost 5, has a 4.84 earned run average. I mentioned his career against the Diamondbacks. He is 5-3 lifetime against the D-backs with a 4.09. 9 starts, a couple of relief appearances, and he's going to come at you with fastball, slider, or cutter, depending on your definition, curveball, and a changeup.
Big crowd on hand once again as the Cubs wrap up a 9-gamer here in Chicago. Off to St. Louis and Pittsburgh. And starting tomorrow night, the Cardinals are off today. So it is Chatwood to Peralta. We're underway, ball 1.
With Tyler, it's plus stuff. Command has been the issue, of course, with all the walks. Here's some irony for you, though. I was doing some breaking down of the numbers. He's made 10 starts this year in which he's walked 5 or more. Obviously not good, right?
And a base hit to start the game.
In those 10 starts where he's walked 5 or more, he has a 3.72 earned run average. He has 8 starts where he's walked 4 or fewer. And in those starts where he's had better control, he has an ERA of 6.02. That's a hard sell. Hey, man, you got to walk more, guys. It's just kind of been weird how that has played out for him.
Paul Goldschmidt, 5 hits in the first 3 games. Only 3 for 19 lifetime against Chatwood without a home run. The wind is blowing left to right, northwest at 12 miles an hour, 78 degrees.
Mike Estabrook cannot have a perfect day.
He missed one, huh?
Yeah, he missed that. The first one at Goldschmidt was right there.
Bodie backpedaling makes the grab. And here comes A.J. Pollock. Some birthday wishes to send out. Cubs closer Brandon Morrow, number 34. Happy birthday to Brandon. Karen Vacco celebrating a 60th birthday this week. And long-term Benny's Beverage Depot employee Lee Ostro. Big happy 94th birthday to Leo Ostro. Here's the pitch to Pollock in the dirt. Contreras fires to first late.
How about those hands? The ball bounced in front of the left-handed batter's box, and he was able to rely on those old infielder skills to pick it. And anytime you get that opportunity with a clean pick on a ball in the dirt, you're thinking pick off, assuming the base runner is going to get an extended secondary lead.
Tied the game yesterday with a homer to left. If he hits a similar ball today, it might not get out. Wind helping it a little bit.
That cut fastball is the find the zone pitch for Tyler.
First game of the day around baseball. Fouled. It's 1-2. Another matinee, White Sox and Angels later, and then the rest of the schedule will be under the lights tonight.
Cubs don't run a lot against Chatwood for a couple of reasons. One, because of the high walk rate. There's the thinking of why take a risk on the bases when we've got a chance to take a walk and just trot on over to second base. Also potential for a ball in the dirt that they could advance on. And he's quick to the plate, and he's got Contreras behind the plate. So all those things conspire to help shut down the running game when Tyler's out there. It's kind of turning a negative into a positive. It's also difficult if you're a manager playing against Tyler to contemplate a hit and run because he's unpredictable. And a lot of times can be very difficult to put in play.
Way high throw to first, not in time, so they keep a close watch on that runner, Peralta. And Pollock steps out, gets the signs from Tony Perez-Chica, the first base coach, or third base coach rather. It's Dave McKay over at first. Two hit him. Just here, grazed Pollock, who does wear elbow protection. Now 2 on for Souza.
It looked like he was trying to throw the cutter and backed up on him.
Maybe in the wrist or the wristband.
Thought it got him on the snake.
Well, Joe wants to make sure. They're going to check with the video room. Here's why I do think it hit him and not the bat, because of the sound I heard. It did not have a sound of ball hitting wood, but it did make a noise.
Ooh, yeah, that's hard to tell. That might have just brushed the knob of the bat. Also may have gotten a piece of the hand, and that's going to be
right. If it hit the hand first, it's a hit by pitch. So did Joe challenge it? I guess he did. Now Joe's coming out before they go to the video. Joe's, I think, asking, do I have to waste a challenge here? Is there enough evidence?
I don't know if there's enough evidence. As you watch this one, boy, that's a razor thin. It looks like it missed him.
Yes.
And reading Pollock's body language,
he didn't react.
He didn't react, and he also looked like he looked like a guy who thought he was getting away with something on his way to first base.
I think they're going to reverse this and say it's a foul ball.
So he's got guilt written all over him, doesn't he?
Maybe that's why the sound was deadened, because it just barely hit the knob.
Oh, yeah, he's guilty. He knows he's getting away with one there.
Are you allowed to use circumstantial evidence?
Like Marcell Ozuna the other day, they were trying to give him his base, and he said, no, they hit my bat. And then he grounded into a double play. And in all likelihood, that would have been the outcome anyway, because Cubs probably would have challenged that call as well. Good work by the boys in the video room. They were on this in a hurry.
So Torey Lovello having a long conversation with the crew chief, Mark Carlson. Well, no, that's not Mark. Mark's over.
Chris Streckman, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be a fun game. Have umpire trading cards without their names on it and see how many you could identify.
So it is a foul ball. Pollock will have to get rid of his sliding glove and get his elbow pad back. Souza's standing at home plate. He's ready to dig in.
Was it strike three? It was strike three. That's a double win.
Even better. Yeah, so it ended up being a foul tip. I hadn't even considered that possibility. That's right. So give an assist to Wilson Contreras on that one. Yeah, I was just looking where the ball initially hit and hadn't considered that it went directly into the glove. So with that strikeout, Chatwood now has 79 walks, 79 strikeouts. And a 1-to-1 ratio is not where you want to be. And hopefully he can kind of turn that ratio around here in the second half. 79 walks, already a career high.
He's always, throughout his career, he's run a high walk count. And at times he's been able to pitch around it effectively. It's been too high this year, and we've talked about it a lot because of the pitch count more than anything else. The fact that all the walks lead to too many pitches and early moves to the bullpen. I talked earlier about the ERA in these games where he's walked a bunch of guys. It's actually good, but coming out 4 2/3, 4+. That's a lot of heavy lifting for the bullpen.
Popped up. This will get him out of it. Rizzo in foul territory, and the Diamondbacks do not score. Zack Godley against the Cubs bats when we return.
It's not just a coaster, you know. It's an invitation.
Jim Beam on the rocks.
The bourbon that's been making history since 1795 invites you to make some of your own.
We've all been there. Gridlock. But this is Nissan Rogue with Pro Pilot Assist. It can stop and start on its own.
Now get a low $185 per month lease on Rogue.
We're a small manufacturing company in Mishawaka, Indiana. We design and build hydraulic valve manifolds. It's a great time to be in business, especially in Indiana. As a result of the tax cuts and the improved economy, we're able to invest in people, buy new equipment, and grow. Tax cuts are working for Indiana businesses, and they should be made permanent.
But Senator Joe Donnelly voted no on tax cuts, no on lower taxes for Hoosier small businesses and families. It's time for him to change course. Tell Senator Donnelly to vote to make our tax cuts permanent.
Anything else?
No, I'm all set.
Hi.
I'll take one of those.
Hey, that's your laugh. Booyah. That's my booyah. Booyah. Maybe that was supposed to be your ticket. Booyah.
Why let someone else scratch your ticket? Pick up your Illinois Lottery instant ticket and play today.
Boom.
Thank you.
Cubs have scored 4 runs in the 3 games so far in the series, but they have won 1 of the 3. So fortunate in that regard. As we check out their Southwest starting lineup, a rare 0 for Anthony yesterday, and a milestone today is 1,000th career Major League game. Almora leading the league in batting average. Hayward, Contreras, Happ, and Schwarber in the middle. Russell the shortstop. Pitcher hits 8. That's Chatwood. David Bodie back for the 5th time from Iowa. Hits 9.
Diamondbacks, a couple key errors yesterday, but they've been very good defensively all year. Peralta, Pollock, Souza in the outfield. Lamb, third base. Ahmed is really good at short. Descalso and Goldschmidt on the right side of the infield. Alex Avila behind the plate. Alexis Experience amazing starting pitcher is Zack Godley. 6'4", or 6'3", 240. 11-6, 465. Sink piece to get started. He's a tough-minded guy. He'll really battle you. Here are the numbers. 265 batting average against is 40-plus points higher than what he yielded last year.
Rizzo whistles one foul past first base. The leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Rizzo gets a hit, Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Godley, a former member of the Cubs system. The Cubs traded him to Arizona in the deal that brought Miguel Montero to the Cubs prior to 2015. StatCast AI is powered by AWS infield spray chart. Rizzo. Two and two.
Godley doesn't walk as many as Chatwood, but he has had control issues as well this year. Patience obviously in order for the Cub hitters.
Swing and a miss. And Rizzo strikes out.
Well, he crossed Anthony Rizzo up there. He was pretty heavy fastball in that sequence, but he's a guy known for his curveball. And he's a rarity. He actually throws his curveball more than his fastball. There's just a few guys in the game that will throw a secondary pitch more often than they throw their heater. That's the story with Godley. At 40+% curveball usage, second highest in all of baseball behind Lance McCullers of the Houston Astros.
Albert Almora hitting .320. That leads the league. .326 lifetime batting average here at Wrigley Field. Deep breath by the right-hander. Here's the pitch. It's inside. 2-0. 2 doubles yesterday for Albert. And now he's the first Cubs center fielder under 25 years old to have a 20 double season since Corey Patterson, 2004. Having attempt by Lamb. It'll be Ahmed to make the play. He committed the big error in the 8th, but that is a rarity. He's made a couple of plays just like that in this series. Wow.
Yeah, he's spectacular. Has a very good range, great hands. On the money with the throw. Reminds me of Adam Everett. A nice long big league career, tremendous glove man.
Hayward with 2 outs. And a scoreless first inning ball game. Sinker misses outside.
I mentioned the heavy curveball usage, and we haven't seen that from him yet. The fastball usage, second lowest in Major League Baseball. Only CC Sabathia throws fewer.
Really interesting in terms of, as you mentioned, the lack of command at times. He has the highest percentage of pitches clearly out of the zone. These are non-borderline calls. 39.5%. Tyler Chatwood third on that list. Patrick Corbin is fourth. After an inning, 0-0.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
Dad,
One step ahead of you, buddy.
I had to get the big guns.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, now featuring Waze. And during the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers on a huge selection of Ford cars. Right now, get the special offer on Fusion. 0% financing for 72 months during the Ford Summer Sales Event.
What do you call a great beer with more taste, only 96 calories, and 3.2 carbs? We call it Miller Lite. What are you holding? Miller Lite. Hold true.
At King's Hawaiian Foods, we believe that when great food and laughs are shared with others, life's just more fun. And who better to share it with than those closest to us, our neighbors? So, pull the grill out front, America. Be sure to have plenty of King's Hawaiian buns and barbecue sauce on hand. And let's make this the summer of the block party. King's Hawaiian Foods. Next time you're grilling, try our delicious King's Hawaiian barbecue sauces, crafted with the irresistible flavors of the islands.
Cubs, Cardinals. Coverage begins at 7 on NBC Sports Chicago.
The Chicago Sports Museum and Harry Caray's at Water Tower Place combined to create Chicago's ultimate sports entertainment and dining destination. Sports fans and foodies alike will appreciate this sports playground on the Mag Mile. For more information, visit harrycarys.com.
I want to welcome all those viewers watching us on MLB Network, around the globe on the Armed Forces Network, and coast to coast in Canada on Rogers Sportsnet.
Like Estabrook. I think he's anticipating. He's guessing ball.
1-0 on Jake Lamb. Cubs shifting on the infield against him. They shift less frequently, or maybe more infrequently, than any team in baseball. So when they do it, it is notable. One and two the count.
Lamb has missed a bunch of time this year on the DL. The number is not good. 223, 6 home runs, 308 on base, 350 slugging percentage.
Is strike three. Today's NBC Sports Chicago Bar of the Game, presented by Miller Lite, is right across the street, Murphy's Bleachers. And if you aren't headed to Wrigley Field, watch today's NBC Sports broadcast at Murphy's Bleachers. And to see the complete list of the bars of the game presented by Miller Lite, visit NBCSportsChicago.com. Hi to all the people at Murphy's. Veteran infielder Daniel Descalzo getting the start at second. 1 for 3, 3 walks and a run scored. He's put together a fine season to date. That ball hit hard past Bodie and out into right center. Descalzo with a 1-out single.
Descalzo really came through for the Diamondbacks earlier this year when they were banged up. He got significantly more playing time, and he really delivered. Had a lot of clutch hits for them. And overall, he just hit the ball a lot harder with more authority than we're used to seeing.
That brings up the shortstop, Ahmed. Trade starting to pick up around baseball. And rumors always flying around.
Let's make one up. Let's trade somebody.
Ooh, that just splintered. Martin Maldonado, catcher, going to the Astros. That is an intra-division trade over in the American League West. Joaquim Soria goes from the White Sox to the Brewers. There are reports Jay Happ could be going from Toronto to the Yankees. So now you see a couple of the deals.
Yeah, Soria got off to a slow start, but better of late from what I understand. And it looks like the Brewers are just going to try to beat you with their bullpen. It's been a strength of their team all year.
Popped picked him up. Not a lot of room over there. And no play. Oh, the vendor. Did that hit the
I think it might have hit the Stacko cups. No, that's where it hit right there. Should have tried to catch it. That's got to be a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling when you're standing facing away from the field and all of a sudden everybody looks up and starts to react. You know there's incoming fire.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's 3 now for Chatwood.
Well, looks like he's got good feel for that cut fastball here today. He can move a lot. Subtle. A little action away from the barrel, and again, that's a pitch that he commands better than any other.
Pat moves over to the right side. So right now it's Russell playing short, and everybody else over on the other side of second as Alex Avila bounces foul. 1 strike on the veteran backstop.
I figure from the Diamondbacks point of view, the left-handed hitters would have to get it done here today. Righty's hitting just 148 against Chatwood. Left-handed batters 302.
I should note the Diamondbacks made a deal after the game yesterday as well. They've added to their bullpen right-hander Matt Andriese, acquired from Tampa Bay, for a couple of minor leaguers. 1-1. The Diamondbacks would look to upgrade behind the plate. They've got 3 catchers on their roster, and Avila signed a 2-year deal. But they haven't gotten a lot of offensive production from that position.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is in Miami these days. There was speculation earlier this year that JT Realmuto would be on the move, and if they were willing to part with him, if I were the Diamondbacks, I would give up a whole lot. Put Realmuto into one of these ugly gray unis. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to say that out loud. I would give up a lot. I would give up a lot to put Realmuto into a Diamondback uniform.
Three and 2. Alex has always had a keen eye at the plate.
Yeah, from his point of view, just to keep the line moving, get Godley up there, get him out of the way would be a good plate appearance.
Runner takes off with 2 outs, and that's the first walk issued by Chatwood, and it will get the pitcher Godley to the plate.
Yeah, there are situational walks, and then there's just walks where you can't execute the pitch, and this was the latter. Obviously, there's certain times you're going to pitch carefully, or you get into a dangerous count against a dangerous hitter, and you don't want to give in. You can live with those walks. It's walks of this nature with the 8-hole hitter up there and 2 outs, and you have an opportunity to have the pitcher leading off the next inning. The challenge for Tyler, as it would be for any pitcher in this situation, is not let one bad influence the
Godley 078 in his career without an extra base hit, and 2
that's my fear, misses. The walk of Avila, obviously not happy with himself and coming out of his delivery a couple times there. It might be time to go back to that cutter.
Mentioned Godley was in the Cubs system. He's got some former teammates on the field today. Kyle Schwarber, Albert Almora, Wilson Contreras were all part of the Daytona Cubs with Godley in 2014. 2-1. Three and one. Peralta on deck. You don't want to load the bases here by walking the pitcher. That's obvious. Sometimes you have to state the obvious.
Ooh, that's maybe the dumbest swing I've ever seen.
Why would?
Wow. He knows it too. It's like, what am I doing? It's one thing if it's Paul Goldschmidt cheating there on 3-1.
Oh, that was ball 4.
How did he not get a take from the coach? Maybe the coach assumed he knew not to swing there.
Yeah, sometimes you have fans asking why do fielders have to put 2 fingers up to their teammates to say how many outs there are. There are only 3 in an inning. You'd be surprised. There's ball 4.
Yeah, and even the best players, the guys with the high baseball IQ, every now and then will get caught forgetting in a game situation. So it's just always good practice to constantly remind each other how many outs, where we're going with the ball, if we're going to throw through, point to particularly, hey, this guy can really go, so let's go ahead and just get the force at first. Any number of things you're going to communicate with each other on the infield throughout a ball game.
So Peralta with the bases loaded. Tim McCarver told me the story the other day. We were talking about that very thing. And how often you have to remind players of the game situation, how many outs there are. He said when the late Red Schoendienst was with Milwaukee in 1957, they ended up winning the World Series. Eddie Matthews, the Hall of Fame third baseman, he could be a little cantankerous. And at one point, they were either on the bases or playing defense. And Red looked at Eddie and said, hey, 2 outs. And they walked off the field. Ball 1. And Eddie walked right over to Red and said, don't ever tell me how many outs there are. I know. Red said, okay. And like within 2 games, he forgot how many outs there were, and he went up to Red and said, I'll never say that again. You can continue to remind me.
Karma, baby.
Yeah. So it does happen, even to the best. 1-1 on Peralta. Big spot here for Chatwood in the 2nd inning. And a ground ball stopped by Bodie. And he gets out of the inning. David Bodie bailing out Chatwood here. That's a heck of a play for a guy who's done nothing but impress at this level. We remain scoreless.
Who says summer gets all the fun? Not us. Because Southwest has $69 one-way sale fares for travel throughout November and December, so you can fill the rest of your year with amazing trips, from football games to reunions, or just a break from the office. These $69 one-way sale fares are ready to make your November and December a whole lot better. Book now at Southwest.com. Low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency.
It's the Power Buy sale at Mattress Firm. We bought some of our best-selling mattresses at unbelievable prices so that we can pass the incredible savings on to you. Right now, you can save up to 50% off all brands. Like a Beautyrest Recharge Hybrid Queen mattress, now only $7.99. Or a Serta Memory Foam Queen mattress, now only $3.97. Hurry, once these beds are gone, they're gone. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
Benny's Beverage Deep.
A swing and a miss.
You know, you start thinking about too many different things at once.
Don't think, sir.
Hey, that is, who said that? Seriously, who said that? That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks, Johnny. That's exactly right. I was thinking about not thinking.
Don't hide it. We know that sometimes emotions just get the better of you, especially at the Honda Summer Spectacular event. And we know getting a deal on the Honda Civic, a 2018 KBB.com Best Buy, can be quite liberating, especially when this stylish Honda Civic comes with Sport Mode.
Yes! Yes!
Express what you're feeling at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
I'm happy you're happy.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Civic today.
We are back at Wrigley with this Miller Lite game report. Ian Happ on deck coming into the afternoon with 51 walks on the season. And since May 18th, his walk per every 4.5 nearly plate appearances is the best in the majors, even better than Mike Trout, which he was pretty excited to hear. But when I asked him what the difference, guys, was, he said just organizing that strike zone, being patient, and really being disciplined when he's hitting left-handed, not swinging at the high fastball. He said it was Chili Davis who kind of drove home how difficult it is for a pitcher to make that pitch 3 times. And even if he does it, you tip your cap. But JD, how tough is it to do again, even if you've done it once?
Yeah, absolutely. Happ is proven to be a very disciplined hitter. He strikes out a lot, but you know, a lot of guys strike out a lot when they're willing to put themselves in jeopardy by taking pitches. He could go up there with the mindset as I'm not going to strike out and attack early, but he would not be anywhere near as productive.
Godley spins and throws to Contreras, and it's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on him. Kelly's with us today. Doug Glanville. We'll chat with Doug coming up as well. A flutter of the glove as Godley goes into his motion. There's that dandy curveball to make it 1-2.
Yeah, I think he came out of the bullpen today with a mindset that he was going to try to establish command of the sinking fastball and then start to work in more curveballs.
Got a lot of movement on that sinker. That one was up on a breaker and a base hit for Contreras.
Yeah, that one was a little lazy.
First hit for the home team. Runner at first, nobody out, and now the aforementioned Ian Happ making his 5th consecutive start. He has not been out of the lineup in consecutive games since June 12th. Has had some issues throwing to bases. We'll see if they pop up here today. In the air to center field, pretty deep. Pollock back on it, and he'll catch it. And Contreras will head back to first. Good contact for Ian, but 4 and out. Hey, Cub fans, the Cubs want everybody in as they push towards another division title. The Cubs return home Thursday, August 2nd for a 4-game set against the Padres. Tickets are still available for that series at Cubs.com.
Yeah, that's right. Yesterday, John Lester, his struggles throwing to the base is well chronicled, and just about everybody first time through the batting order for the Diamondbacks yesterday at least showed bunt. There was only 1 legitimate attempt, and I'm curious to see if the Cubs do something similar with Godley.
Runner takes off, base hit. Schwarber into right. Contreras to third. Brian Butterfield will stop him. Contreras goes through the stop sign, and he's going to score. Baez-like from Wilson Contreras as the throw went towards second base. He just kept on going, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, Cubs push, always looking to take an extra base. Sometimes it leads to hurried mistakes in the field. Here he just takes advantage. And maybe some nonchalance on the part of the Diamondbacks. You see Butters got the stop sign up, but Wilson peeks over his shoulder, sees the ball headed to second, and just figures, I can win this race.
That should give Schwarber an RBI. On a single, Contreras scores from first.
It's like Enos Slaughter. Look it up. I don't have time to explain.
Schwarber runs. Nice stab by Lamb, and he'll get Russell at first.
Back-to-back plays, base runners in motion. Godley's a high ground ball guy. Start the runners to stay out of a double play. Create some movement on the infield, put a little pressure on Godley. And why not? Cubs have struggled to score runs. There's 4 runs total in the first 3 games of this series.
Schwarber will get an RBI on that base hit. So, you know, I'm in the Eddie Olczyk for you young baseball players mindset, since we had Edzo on earlier. There's a reason the cutoff man heads out on a play like that. And I'm not sure how aggressive Schwarber was around first, but is there an excuse for Souza missing the cutoff man on that and airing it all the way to second?
No. No, I think you want to get the ball in the hands of the cutoff guy as quickly as possible. To me, this didn't feel like a double. If he thought it was straight double, you see it there. Well, we'd have to back it up a couple clicks. Sorry, Edzo. Clearly over the head of Descalso out there in short right.
It looked like Contreras' read on it was once he knew it was over the head of Descalso that he would be able to easily score, or at least have a fighting chance.
Right, and I think perfect throw home, he's probably out. But it's hard to make that throw when you turn and you're in a hurry. And the throw was a little bit high.
And we have to get a shot of some fans in Blackhawks jerseys. You're trying to scratch and claw for runs in a series. Those are huge plays.
Yeah, so he's all in, just trying to throw this ball to second base. And there, you see the cutoff man. So, you know, even if that throw was low enough where the perception would be that it could be cut, that's going to change Contreras' mind.
Three and one, meanwhile, on the pitcher, Chatwood, who walked Godley in the top of this inning. The pitch. He did walk him. And now he's got to deal with a tough out in David Bodie, who's back as Kris Bryant has headed back to the DL.
Bodie's playing the top of the inning, saved not 1 but 2 runs. Who knows how many more. As Paul Goldschmidt would have been the next hitter had Bodie not made the play on the ground ball. Well, we talked about Godley and Chatwood both having a hard time finding the zone. They rank near the top, I guess the bottom, in terms of zone percentage of pitches in the strike zone. But the Diamondbacks have been very effective with that approach. Number 1 on that list is Patrick Corbin, the All-Star. Number 3 on that list is Zack Greinke, the All-Star.
The pitch to David is a strike on a curve. Our high-speed action is powered by Xfinity. Bodie leaving his feet and getting Peralta, saving at least 1, maybe 2 runs.
That's why he's at second base today and not third. And Joe just felt like more likely the ball on the ground would be in the middle of the diamond, which is normally the case.
Cut and a miss.
See, so I'm talking about that zone percentage thing. The difference being Corbin and Greinke throw a high percentage of first pitch strikes. That gets the hitter in swing mode, and then a lot of the pitches out of the breaking balls. They got swing and miss breaking balls. Godley does as well. So if he's able to throw strike one more often, then get that curveball going, you'll see his numbers improve. Same for Chatwood. He's got a swing and miss breaking ball. If he can get, establish strike one, he can really go to work. So the Diamondbacks first, third, and fifth, those three pitchers in terms of fewest pitches in the strike zone. But again, they've been effective with that approach. Strikes can really be overrated.
On the ground, not hit hard, and Lamb's got a charge, and the throw is in time. So the Cubs get the lead on the excellent base running from Wilson Contreras. They lead 2, and it's 1-0 after 2.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
I'm attorney Howard Aiken with Cubs superstar Javi Baez.
Making it look easy on the field takes a hard work. If you need legal help, call Howard.
It's hard to make law as exciting as Javi makes playing second base, but if you need help with an injury case, call me.
312-6
Carspitality, the friendly and convenient services offered to guests at the Bill Jacobs Auto Group. With amenities like a complimentary vehicle inspection with every service visit on our active reception rack, or our white glove concierge service where we'll pick up and deliver your vehicle to your home or office and leave you a courtesy loaner. We use market-based pricing on our vehicles to save you time and money. Carspitality. See the Bill Jacobs Auto Group. The cars bring you in, the experience brings you back. In Naperville and Hinsdale.
And here we go, folks.
It's your favorite hot dog bun, mustard, and overpriced watered-down beer.
Are you sure you want to eat all that? Because you already weigh more than your team's batting average.
Let's just toast to our anniversary. Oh, no, it's corked.
Let's just watch the game. I tweeted all of your friends to come over, but I guess no one showed up, just like at Mobile Phone Park.
That's okay. I invited one of your friends, too.
There's a long drive, and it's out of here.
Give a real anniversary gift this year. Escape to the Champagne Lodge in Willowbrook, just 25 minutes southwest of Chicago.
As you enjoy Cold Miller Lite, look forward to the whole crew moment later on in today's game. And we have Doug Glanville with us, and a lot to get to. Doug, how about that play, Contreras scoring from first?
Yeah, I mean, it raises a lot of the sort of expertise that's involved in this play right here. But Contreras read the ball very well. I mean, he looked back and he realized that the ball was overthrown the cutoff man and took off. But that is a tough play for the right fielder, because you're in a position where obviously you solve the problem by hitting the cutoff man, but then you're worried about the lead runner and the trail runner in the same play. And that cutoff man is going to have to shift different ways to decide if you're going home or you're going to second. And he just airmailed him. But Contreras looking over his shoulder and making that read was the real key for him to scoring. But I noticed more and more you see runners running, looking over their shoulders, which is really counter to history around look at that, pick up the third base coach, because looking over your shoulder actually slows you down. So the combination of slowing down but getting a good read is something a lot of base runners now are taking advantage of.
There's Paul Goldschmidt leading off the Diamondbacks third. Tyler Chatwood with a 1-0 lead. Arizona has stranded 4 through 2. Works from the third base side of the rubber with a step, and here it goes, and that pitch bounces for ball 1. Doug, Anthony Rizzo playing in his 1,000th Major League game today. Do you remember what happened in your 1000th game?
I do.
You hit a home run.
Off of Tim Wakefield. I did.
You even remember who you got?
Was it a knuckleball?
It was a knuckleball. It was a knuckleball. You know, I had a story with Wakefield where when he came down to the minors after a real tough time in Pittsburgh, he played in Double-A, so he was a big leaguer, and we were like, oh, so of course playing against him, we wanted to do well. And we beat him up pretty good that day. And so I hit a triple off him, and he backed up third, and he just stared me down. So I said, well, what are you looking at? He said, what are you looking at? So I was like, wow. So we had this like tension thing, and I was convinced before that home run I hit that he was throwing at me with a 73-mile-an-hour knuckleball. But I was convinced that he was throwing at me.
He's going to float that thing right into my rib cage.
Right. So that felt pretty good. And the irony of it is with all that tension, we end up doing a charity commercial together at one point unexpectedly. So it all works out.
Yep, all's well that ends well as Goldschmidt draws the leadoff walk. He's batting second today in their lineup. And it's A.J. Pollock with a man on and nobody out. Well, you played in 1,115 games. This is Rizzo's 1,000th. You know, in hockey, and I know their season's only half as long, so I guess it would be like your 2,000th game. They usually honor that player at center ice before the game, but 1,000 big league games, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that was a special moment, you know, just to accomplish. And you forget, like, Rizzo is still a very young player, and to accomplish the starting, being a great player over this whole period for 1,000 games is something to remember.
Pollock takes ball one from Chatwood. Well, you know, I'm looking at your season by season here, Doug, and starting in '97 and through 2001, 146, 158, 150, 154, 153. JD and I talk about durability. It's an underrated character trait for a big leaguer. Sometimes it's out of your hands. You know, A.J. Pollock has had a lot of really crazy broken bones and injuries that have knocked him out of 50, 60 games at times. But when you're paying the exorbitant salaries players make these days, man, you want to make sure those guys actually play a lot of games.
Yeah, and especially when you look at how the Cubs have approached it. I mean, early in the season, they give a lot of guys time. And initially, there's some criticism because, well, you know, what's our set lineup? You have guys making all this money. But it pays dividends in the second half in particular. Guys are rested. You have guys like Bodie can come in and be confident that they can contribute.
Could be two. And it is 6-4-3. There it is, JD, the walk leading into the double play ball.
Yeah, he hasn't had to pay for his sins, and that's been his story a lot. High walk games, as long as he doesn't give up damage, he tends to pitch well. He walked the 8-hole hitter and the pitcher last inning. Bodie bailed him out. Here he bails himself out after the lead walk to Goldschmidt. Makes a nice pitch. Pollock trying to pull that cutter away, and it turns into a 6-4-3.
Here's Souza with 2 outs and nobody on. Well, I've often talked about Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz. You could add to that list. He had Tommy John surgery late in his career. But the fact that those guys you could count on 30 to 35 starts every year, that mattered a lot.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, I wish I missed all those guys because we were in the Phillies. We were in their division. I faced Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame for like 8 years. I mean, it was just like my batting average would be 100 points higher.
There's a base hit for Souza.
But as you said, availability is so critical, and I think what I appreciate about how Joe Maddon and the style of the Cubs is that he really brings everybody involved. He keeps as many guys fresh as he can, and you kind of, as a player, you appreciate that. As he's really gotten the culture around, we're all part of this and we all collectively are going to contribute. And you need these guys. I mean, think about all the postseason heroics off the bench, the Stella guys. These guys are going to be important, 1 through 25. And when they're part of the team from jump, when they know that they can contribute, Bodie's getting starts, Happ at second, and they do it in a very versatile way, then nothing shocks you. It's like, oh, I have to play second today? Fine, no problem. Yep. I was the emergency infielder, by the way, in the 2003 playoffs.
Oh, really?
And I would have made broken all kinds of records for errors in an inning if I actually got in that game.
But you were available.
I was available, and, you know, but I had never had that experience before. But when you have guys, you know, Schwarber, all these guys rotating in different spaces in different parts of the lineup, Rizzo leading off, it seems unorthodox, and it can be frustrating from afar in a rhythm, but it actually can pay some dividends.
Marte hitting for Jake Lamb, so.
Yeah, something physical must be going on with Lamb.
So we'll get word from the Diamondbacks clubhouse at some point. A reminder, you can follow Doug and all our Cubs insiders on NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. Marte chops one to Rizzo. And that'll do it for the Diamondbacks. In the third, Cubs lead 1-0 in Game 4.
You don't just want easy. You want streaming all your favorite shows on the fastest internet easy. You want internet that helps you save on mobile easy. You want Xfinity because it makes your life simple, easy, awesome.
Get started with Xfinity Internet now with more speed than ever. Plus TV for $40 each a month for 2 years when you bundle both and get Showtime Stars and Cinemax included. Click, call, or visit a store today.
Better pizza doesn't start with luck. It starts with our ingredients. At Papa John's, that means slapping our hand-tossed dough just right every time. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas for $7.77 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Should we?
Can we?
You totally can. At Lowe's, we have top brands like Valspar and the expert guidance to make getting it done easy.
The moment you say,
We did it.
A full house is on hand. Bright sunshine. It's warm. Right now, it's a perfect day to play.
Here comes the 3-2. Exactly what you ordered.
It's a high fly ball deep right center field. That ball is off the wall. Cubs are on the board. Drill toward left center. Almora makes a leaping grab.
Deep left center. Game over. Cubs win.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help you rehydrate so you can keep sweating. Study, tested, proven. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. So here is Rizzo in his 1,000th game. He is the 1,592nd big league player to get to 1,000 career games. 12th consecutive game leading off. And a strike on him. And after a pitch in the dirt, now has to regroup.
See, Godley has a tendency to fall off to the first base side when he finishes his delivery. Nothing unique about that. A lot of guys do it, but he has a tendency to go early sometimes. That's when the breaking ball will flatten out and the sinker will run but not sink quite as much. That's one of the things they've emphasized with him, trying to stay a little bit taller, a little bit more linear, I guess. Keep that front shoulder closed a little longer.
Godley is from Bamberg, South Carolina. Attended Spartanburg Methodist and then Tennessee. And a line drive base hit. Milestone moment for Albert Pujols last night against the White Sox. Home run number 631. So he's now 6th on the all-time home run list. And he'll need a few more to pass Willie Mays. Albert has done a lot of damage against Chicago teams in his career. Almora went on the bunt attempt. And here's our Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Yikes. There's a lot of home runs. A traditional pitch out.
Yeah, you
see
rarely
one
see
a
that.
month at most.
Well, Cubs were forcing the issue. They started base runners on a couple of occasions last inning. We talked about Godley's throwing issues. I think that's part of the reason why Almora was contemplating bunt there.
And he went. Didn't get the tumbler in the dirt. Popped up on the right side. It's Goldschmidt. Marte now playing second. Descalzo over at third after Lamb was removed.
Would like a do-over. But unfortunately, they don't give those out. J.P. Morosi is reporting that the Yankees and the Blue Jays have a deal in place that would send J. Happ to New York. One of the pieces reportedly going to Toronto is Billy McKinney. So this would be, what, the third time he's been a July trade chip. Came to the Cubs from the A's with Addison Russell. Then he went to New York in the Aroldis Chapman deal. Now apparently on the way to Toronto.
Huge lead. Rizzo takes off. And the throw is in time. So Avila was really behind the 8-ball there as Rizzo got a huge jump. But he made a perfect throw to get him. Big lead, big jump.
Yeah, and that kind of speaks to Godley's unwillingness to throw. I mean, I think the Cubs ought to continue to really try to get big leads and see if he's willing to throw over there or not. Because unlike John Lester, he's right-handed, so it'd be tougher for him to neutralize the running game.
So 2 outs, nobody on, and a 1-0 to Hayward. 2 balls, no strikes. We'd like to welcome all our viewers streaming NBC Sports Chicago on PlayStation View. That is in there, and it's 2-1. Outfield deep, a little bit around the left against Hayward. And earlier in this series, homered into the basket in left center. Strike 2. Swing and a miss, and that's it for the Cubs. In the third, they lead 1-0.
Who says summer gets all the fun? Not us, because Southwest has $69 one-way sale fares for travel throughout November and December, so you can fill the rest of your year with amazing trips, from football games to reunions, or just a break from the office. These $69 one-way sale fares are ready to make your November and December a whole lot better. Book now at southwest.com. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Great deals are going on now during Menards Red Hot Sale. Get unbeatable quality and satisfaction guarantee with Cabot Premium Exterior Wood Stains and Finishes. Cabot stains provide lasting protection for any exterior wood surface. Save $8 per gallon after rebate, including 5-gallon pails. Accent your home's exterior with Novix siding panels from Menards. Each panel covers 5 square feet and they have a seamless stacked stone appearance. Only $3.49 a square foot. Now during Menards Red Hot Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
This is where we prove German luxury cars are the best in the world. But one day, this Infiniti QX50 showed up. This is not German. With useless technology. ProPilot assist? I need no assistance to drive. Stop! MRC VC Turbo. It's like 2 engines in one.
Get out! I drive.
During the Start Your Own Legacy sales event, lease the all-wheel drive Infiniti QX50 for $399 a month, or finance at 2.9% APR. Visit your local Infiniti retailer.
Tomorrow, NBC Sports Chicago broadcasts live from the Blackhawks convention. At 5, join Pat Boyle for the opening ceremonies, followed at 6 by a special on-location edition of Sports Talk Live. Blackhawks convention coverage starts tomorrow at 5 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Tomorrow, the Blackhawks convention takes center stage on NBC Sports Chicago, starting at 5 with live coverage of the opening ceremonies, followed by a special on-location edition of Sports Talk Live. You can also stream it all on NBCSportsChicago.com.
Game within the game. Dave McKay and Anthony Rizzo chatting down at first base. Anthony gives Dave a lot of credit for teaching him how to run the bases. So maybe they were breaking down that caught stealing. Here's Descalzo, started the game at second. He's now at third. And he looks at a strike. Did you see the story Joey Votto and Matt Carpenter?
I did not.
I don't know if I have all the details, but you know the salsa story that came out.
Carpenter doing all this
eating the salsa, and so that's
Adam Wainwright salsa.
Feeding his home run binge. I don't know if it was a piece of equipment. Maybe it was like the ankle or shin guard. The Carpenter took it off at first base, and Votto tried to grab it to rub it off to see if he could get some of that salsa. Carpenter wouldn't let him do it. Bodie will throw out to Descalzo.
Good rational human beings.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Ahmed will dig in. He struck out in the second.
That puts a lot of pressure on Wainwright to keep making salsa, though.
Cubs will face Carpenter and the Cardinals starting tomorrow. Out into the alleyway. Should be extra bases for Ahmed. That ball in and out of the vines. And it's a standing 2-base hit. That was their first extra base hit.
Center cut, and he jumped all over it. 21st double on the year for Ahmed. He's looking for more power this year. 12 home runs already. His career best was 9 back in 2015.
Cubs lead 1-0 and the heads up base running. Wilson Contreras in the second. Curveball at the top of the zone for a strike. telling you, JD, if you let me tweak these uniforms, I would design something that you would like.
I just want to tone down the gray.
I don't mind the gray. It's that everything else is blends in too much. They need something bright on the Arizona and on the nameplate. Need that contrast. See the helmet? Can you even see the logo from that shot? It's hard to see it.
Maybe they would hire us as uniform consultants.
No, they won't. It's the last thing they're going to do.
Alex having a tough go of it, hitting a .148. Only has 6 extra base hits, 145 plate appearances, so the slugging number is way down.
Well hit to left. Schwarber back on it, and it's gone.
Of course.
An opposite field. 2-run homer for the former Cub.
The slugging numbers just got a little bit better for Alex in the bottom of the order. Takes a bite out of Tyler Chatwood here, double Ahmed, and then Avila with his 5th home run of the year. Snakes have taken the lead. It's a curveball and not a horrible pitch. He does a nice job staying back on it and going the other way with it.
A Ford home run replay. The wind is really blowing hard, and right now it's straight out toward right. It's not really hurting anything necessarily in that direction, and Alex didn't hit it that high. So Godley working with a lead, and he's got a little of the Goldschmidt-Souza batting stance working. Hasn't been at the knees quite as much. Fastball strike. JD, we would design such good uniforms, they would change their names. The nickname would be the Dapperbacks.
I agree.
That's how solid it would be.
The Arizona Diamond Dandies.
Gotta wear a hat today.